Hello friends, this feels a little bit surreal. 8 months ago, I looked it up. We posted a video sitting on this couch that we were about to make some big life changes. We were gonna set off on a road trip. Mark was going to be leaving his job of how many years?
15, almost 15, well, like 14 and a half years at that company, 20 years as an accountant, CPA.
And we were excited, but we were nervous, and now we've done it. We did our road trip.
Yeah.
We're here. Mark is home working on the business, and we're here. We're alive, and we're happy, and things are great. But we've had lots of questions about the trip and our feelings after the trip and all that. So we thought we'd address some here. Mark has been crunching the numbers. That's always his thing. He is good at running the reports and things like that. And so we also did a community post and asked for some questions that you guys might be interested in. And we also just got questions along the way. So we're gonna jump back and forth between what things cost, whether or not they were above or below what Mark had kind of budgeted for us before we went on the trip.
Things that surprised us, things we didn't quite expect, kind of feelings we're having. We're going to talk to some of the kids about what was exciting for them, what they liked, what they didn't like.
Yeah, we'll see if we can get them. They're not home right now, but we'll see if we can catch them at some point so they can give their opinion. But first and foremost, if 8 months ago, Lauren and Mark knew how it would go, would we do it again? For me, it's in a heartbeat.
Oh yeah, 100%. I wish I could go back and just kind of grab it myself and say, man, take a breath, just like breathe. It's going to work out. Because I had contingency plan upon contingency plan and, this and that. And that's probably part of my background as a CPA. And, none of that really mattered. We got out on the road and you guys saw we had problems with like the car. We had some challenges, but we worked through it. And there was never any time I even got close to thinking, okay, we need to pack this up and head home. Like, we were just having a great time. And somehow, living in 420 square feet in the RV, we all got along. I mean, it was great. We came back into this beautiful house that we have, and it's kind of like, where is everybody? Like, what?
Yeah, it takes a lot longer to like gather everyone in when we need everyone and find where everybody's doing. And it was very nice to just be able to keep tabs on everyone, but in a good way. Like, we wanted to be near each other. And not that we don't do that at the house. We still kind of gather in the kitchen and living room and things like that. But it was just easier to do. Yeah. And it was easier to keep it clean.
So much. And
it was easier just to like spend less time on stuff and more time on adventures because we just had things that were simpler. So.
And for the most part, it was just us. It was just our family. We did visit some other people, but there weren't all these friends and different activities and clubs and socials. And so it was nice, because if we're going to do something, well, we're going to gather up the kids and we're going to that's what we're doing. We're all going to do it. We're here. It's like, well, everyone's got different schedules and different things.
And neither is bad. It just was very different. And it was a nice 4 months of just family time and adventures, and we really, really, really enjoyed it.
One of the questions that people asked was, well, why don't you just stay in hotels and drive along while you go? And so financially, would that have been better? I really don't think so. I can share some of the numbers, but also just like socially and the whole experience, it would have been such a different experience because we pretty much just brought our house with us, and you saw we had this big fifth wheel. There's a lot of stuff in there with bikes and paddle boards and activities, and you really couldn't do that, nor could you cook your own meals. If you guys watched this very long, you've seen that eating as a family is a big thing. And so if we couldn't have cooked our meals together and done all that, that would have been really tricky. So I have no regrets at all on going in a fifth wheel versus hoteling it or camping or something. I think it worked out really well.
With posting our videos, we filmed way more than we expected, but I never gave myself like a strict timeline. I just filmed when it felt right and then set down the camera when I wasn't wanting to film. And sometimes that meant one video was just part of a day. Sometimes that meant one video was 2 or 3 days. And sometimes that meant that one video was one day, as you guys saw. So we had lots and lots of filming, but we've been asked multiple times, what were the actual timelines of our trip? And we left Alaska the last day of January, and we landed in Florida on the first day of February. So we really were there February 1st. And the goal was to get home June 1st. But we decided to push through Canada a little bit faster. It just felt right. Like, we had a couple days that were going to be really short drive days, and then we were going to camp, and then we got to those places and they were still frozen, and we just felt like we could drive further.
Yeah, we just had this feeling like, yeah, let's just keep going. It felt natural, and I think there was a reason in hindsight.
We got home and it just felt good to have those extra few days before the kids went off to camp. There was a snowstorm just north of us in Alaska that we would have been stuck in if we waited till June 1st. So really, we essentially did the full 4 months minus just a few days.
Well, and for me, it was 4.5 months, a little bit more, because I left in the middle of January and had 2 weeks to drive down to Ohio to pick up the trailer and then to Florida.
So before we get into some of the numbers, you may be wondering, how do we afford living like this? How did we afford to take this trip? Some people call it a vacation. I never felt like it was an actual vacation. Little like sections of it felt vacation-like, but from the beginning, in my mind, we were living on the road because we were still doing homeschool with our 5 kids, 4 of them in school age. We were still running our business even more than ever because we were putting out more videos than ever. We were managing an RV.
I was still somewhat connected to my office, so I still was doing some work for them remotely. And so, like Lauren said, it was awesome. We had such a great time, but it was not just every day full of leisure. It was pretty exhausting. Every day we would go to bed really tired, but it was fun. It was an adventure. Every day was new and different things we were seeing.
So we're sharing these numbers just to inform people that are like, how did it pan out money-wise? Was it more than we thought, less than we thought? This is the kind of a culmination of 20 years of Mark and I both working, saving, living below our means, putting money away. We never quite knew what it was going to be for, but we have put away money to do something at some point. Yeah. And so that is what made this trip possible. This YouTube channel, all of you watching, is what made it possible, is the true answer, because having the YouTube channel that we started in 2020, having these amazing viewers that watch our content consistently, allowed us to put that money to the side that I was earning and, live off of Mark's income. And then it opened doors that we always hoped would be open, but maybe would be further down the road. So it is not lost on us that we are extremely blessed. We have been given opportunities that are just like so amazing. And we're very grateful. We're very grateful we were able to do this. We're very grateful that we can continue to do it here at home. And we're grateful for all of you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Sometimes I pinch myself realizing, hey, that this happened, but really it's because of you and our friends watching these videos and being part of this whole community. So thank you so much.
A big thank you to Brooklyn Bedding for sponsoring today's video. Have you ever had the unfortunate experience of sleeping on a terrible mattress? Whether you're on vacation or your own mattress is just not any good? Brooklyn Bedding to the rescue. While we were on our RV trip, we tried to muscle through with the mattress that came in our RV. Huge mistake. It was so bad. And a Brooklyn Bedding mattress sent through the mail to our RV park was what saved the day. I just love that mattresses can be compacted down to boxes now. It has allowed us to take mattresses to off-grid cabins, easily order them to an RV like we did on our trip. It's just fantastic. Brooklyn Bedding mattresses are designed, assembled, and shipped straight from the Arizona factory, removing the middlemen so that they can give us premium quality mattresses without the high markups and taking out the middlemen. They are factory direct and shipped straight to your door. This particular bed frame does not need a box spring. It's just built into the bed. So we're gonna put the mattress right on it. They have 120 night sleep trials, so you can test it out and make sure you love it. And free shipping in the US, delivered straight to your door or to your campsite, which is what we needed to do while we were on the road. This pops up to full size so fast. These mattresses are not just your foam mattress in a box. They have amazing layers in them that make them premium quality, even though they come all shrink wrapped and ready to go. It's amazing what good quality they are. This is like sleeping on a cloud. Depending on what kind of firmness you like, they have lots of different types of mattresses, temperature control, soft, firm, whatever you like to sleep on, they've got a mattress for you. So if you're in the market for a new mattress or a mattress upgrade, head to the link down in the description below, brooklynbedding.com/ThisAlaskaLife. And if you use the code ThisAlaskaLife at checkout, you'll get 30% off your order. All right, let's get into numbers and then we'll kind of intersperse it with questions.
So as you guys watch these videos, you realize we are not RV experts. And I do have experience with money and budgets. And so I just kind of started making a plan. And I knew it was going to be wrong, but we wanted, to, as a CPA, I wanted to have a plan. And so I put down some numbers, we made a budget, and but we didn't quite stick to it perfectly. We knew that things were going to be fluid and things were going to change.
So some things were a little bit higher than we planned, some things we forgot to put in the budget, and other things were a little bit lower than we planned. Overall, we feel comfortable with where we were at because there were things that were out of our control. First off, did we rent or buy, or what happened with the RV? We did buy the truck. It is a used truck.
We bought a 2016 3500 HD Chevy Silverado work truck. So that's one of the lowest trims, if not the lowest trim that you can get. And that's kind of our style. We don't want to get all the extra bells and whistles and pay for them. This one had about 48,000 miles on it. It had been taken really good care of by the federal government who had owned it before. And so I'm super grateful for that truck. That truck cost us $34,000 and change. And I had thought we were probably going to need to spend about $40,000. The whole time I knew I was going to get a used truck. We needed to get one big enough that could safely haul fifth wheel. Our fifth wheel comes in at almost 16,000 pounds when it's fully loaded. Empty is like about 12,500 pounds. So a lot there. And
so that actually came in under budget.
So that was about $7,000 under budget.
Now the trailer was perfect for our family. If you followed the saga, we were going to buy a smaller tow behind trailer. So glad we went with the fifth wheel. It gave us a second bathroom, a bigger kitchen, a pantry. Those things saved us. It had the same bunk room, but we had a lot of things to our advantage. We bought it right near where those trailers are manufactured, and it is perfect for our family, but it was not a high-end trailer, and we're not bells and whistles kind of people. There are beautiful trailers out there that you're like, we would walk by and we're like, wow, that is just like stunning. Had all the bells and whistles, outside TVs, outside kitchen, all the things.
Yeah.
So
really nice leveling jacks, lighting underneath, backup assist, all these extra kind of things. This one is a very egalitarian type trailer. I mean, still very, very nice.
Very nice.
Super comfortable for us.
Perfect for us.
Yeah, super comfortable. It was 420 square feet inside once you take all the slides out. So I shopped around. So knowing that this was going to be probably the biggest purchase, I spent a lot of time shopping between different dealers, and the question was, who's going to work with me? I'm coming from Alaska. It sounds kind of like a pipe dream, me contacting all these dealers. But I knew that I had a radius of about 1,500 miles from Florida that I wanted to buy a trailer somewhere around there. And so once I had that narrowed down, I got to the one I wanted, and I started reaching out to all these different dealerships, and they kind of competed against each other. And thankfully, there was a small dealership in Eaton, Ohio that was wonderful to work with. And so we got this trailer about 45% off MSRP, which kind of blew me away because in Alaska, the starting point is MSRP, and then they tack on $10,000 to $15,000 of shipping and location fees. So for them, it was, like I said, they were trying to move these products in the winter. We were 2 hours away from the factory where they came off the line. And this small mom and pop, they didn't have all the overhead, and they were able to work with us. It was great. We ended up paying $63,750, and that was including a few things that they added on, backup camera. Oh, there's a couple things we had them add on. I can't remember.
They put the thing in the back of the truck to...
Oh, yeah. That included the hitch, the installation of the hitch, which was about $1,000 for the fifth wheel hitch. Wireless tire pressure monitoring system. So in all, it's about $2,000 of extra cost there. worked into that number.
We also knew, getting such a good deal down there, that if this was not for us, if we didn't like RVing at all, that once we brought it home to Alaska, you can't find this RV up here. They tend to bring up much smaller ones because smaller ones are better for Alaska camping. So we knew that we could probably sell it for a decent price and recoup a lot of that money. For now, we have chosen to keep it, just to experience it with our family. We also kind of got back a little bit late for selling it this summer. I'm sure we still could have tried, but I didn't want to like be pinned down to like, let's stay home and try and sell our trailer. So we will winter it over. That was we got a lot of questions about wintering it over, because I know on the trip we talked about, oh no, it's getting cold. We don't want it to freeze. And of course it's going to freeze here, but there are procedures that you do to winter over a trailer. You get all the water out of all the lines. Do you put antifreeze in them?
Yeah, we'll show you that in a video in the future in a couple months when we need to do that.
Yeah, Grandpa puts a big cover over his, which we'll probably have to try and figure out. You just want to try and minimize moisture, and then you just button it up for the winter. That we will not be using it at all over the winter.
Yeah.
Next biggest expense on the trip after we bought the trailer and the truck.
So we have about 15 categories that I lumped all the different expenses into, and we're just going to go from highest to lowest and say how much they were versus what we expected them. Now, the highest cost that we had on this trip was car maintenance. We had expected that we were going to spend $2,000 with routine maintenance of oil changes, and things break, and especially with how many miles we drove. We drove 29,000 miles between our two vehicles. 29,000. So I knew that there would be some sort of problems, and thankfully there was no safety issues, that no one got hurt or anything like that. But our biggest cost was over $9,000 for the transmission replacement on Gus the bus. Totally did not expect that. That van had 75,000 miles on it. Really shouldn't have had to have a replacement generally at that point in its life of a vehicle, but it happens.
And it had been reliable up to that point, and we did get it checked out before we drove it down. Made sure everything, we got a few things fixed on it, and they gave us like a thumbs up, like you're ready to go. So it happened. We still love Gus the bus. Glad that he's working pretty good now. And it was one of those things where it was discouraging, but we learned a bunch of lessons and we just moved forward.
Yep. Our next biggest expense was gas. We had thought that I had thought we were going to spend $6,900 on gas. And so I had estimated an average price of $4 a gallon between the diesel and the gas and Canada, because back then, unleaded was in the high $2 range here in Alaska, diesel about $3. And so we thought, okay, that's going to be our budget. And I had thought we were going to drive 24,000 miles. And so both the Iran conflict happened, and so gas prices went much, much higher than they were before. And then we drove 5,000 miles more than we anticipated. And a lot of that was just kind of back and forth with the van, seeing different sites. And we didn't have a set plan when we left. We had a general outline of places we wanted to go for the first half. In the back half, we kind of developed as we went. And so there were some changes there.
Gus the bus definitely had got the most miles on it because Mark drove it down. And then once we were at our campsites, we rarely ever used the truck. We mostly just used Gus the bus for doing all the driving around. So he got a little bit more miles on him.
We put 11,700 miles on the truck, and I think 99% of those were towing. Just very rarely did we drive that without the trailer. Okay, next biggest expense was groceries. And feeding a family of 7, it takes a lot. There's a lot of mouths to feed. We have these teenage kids, they're really hungry. I eat a lot of food.
We like a lot of fresh fruits and vegetables. We love our Costco runs, and sometimes Costco runs weren't available, so we were shopping at smaller grocery stores, which we found some great deals at some of them, and then others were more expensive. But we knew that would be the case.
So I budgeted $13,000, and we ended up spending only $10,160 on that.
Just know that these numbers are not exact. Mark did his best to go back and enter things in. We may have ordered a few extra things here and there that didn't get included, and things, I don't know. This is not a perfect number. This is just a good estimate of what it cost us.
But so that's $2,800 less though than we anticipated. So that was kind of a positive variance. The next thing that was sticker shock was the RV campsites. So we had budgeted $3,950. And I had done some research and I thought I had a general idea of what the campsites were going to cost. And I grossly underestimated that, especially in Florida. And as we got out, realizing that we kind of needed as a family, since we're living there, these full hookups because we needed showers and water. And it was just a little bit more than we anticipated. So we spent $8,120 on RV campsites. We did do harvest hosts, which didn't cost very much. And we also did some boondocking, but we didn't do as much as I thought we were going to do. And then just all of these places were almost double the price of what I expected. And I don't think I anticipated all the taxes and fees too that all these tourist places were going to tack on.
So just the reality.
Yeah.
We moved a lot too. And so, that price
Yep.
just was so variable. And sometimes you just had to kind of take what you could get with such a large trailer. You can't just park anywhere. A lot of campsites or RV parks, they had limits, or so we had to maybe go with the more expensive one just because we could fit there. So that was a bigger expense than we planned.
The next category is excursions. And, what would a road trip and an adventure like this be without some excursions? They went to Universal Studios, we rented a few boats, we went to some different events. And so we had budgeted $6,000. And that's over 4 months. And we ended up spending $7,700.
We do have a big family, so anytime we go and do anything, it does cost quite a bit.
Okay, RV supplies. We budgeted $3,250 for RV supplies. So that would be some of the outfitting, the sheets, the plates, the propane type stuff, all that kind of stuff that we needed. And I had budgeted $3,250 for that. We ended up spending $4,700. It just took a little bit more than we thought to kind of set up your home on the road with wheels, with all the different things. If we had more time, maybe we could have saved some money going to secondhand stores and thrift shops and some of that stuff, but that's what it was.
Yeah, we just kind of got there and wanted to have the RV outfitted, and 99, maybe 95% of that stuff stayed out there. So we just have it ready to go. The pots and pans, the plates, all the organizing stuff, the sheets, everything is out there and ready for us to just put our food in there and our clothes and hit the road. Okay, a few more questions before we finish our expense categories. Do we have any trips planned? Yes, in Alaska, we do not have another big RV trip planned. Some of our children, while they all thought this trip was worth it and good, our older boys are not ready to hit the road again. And so we're going to honor that and reassess, 6 months from now, a year from now, after they've done some of their school sports and been with their friends and things like that. Like, things at home are important. Maybe we'll just go do more traveling. Maybe we'll by airplane. I really, really want to go and do more states, maybe in the fall, see the leaves on the East Coast. We love California. Mark and I honeymooned driving up to Alaska, up the Highway 1. Is that Highway 1 or Highway 0? What is it called?
Highway 101? It's the one that goes right along the coast, that small one that winds along the coast.
And do the redwoods. We love the Oregon coast. Yes, we didn't see everything. We just had this time constraint of getting home to Alaska, and our kids wanting to do camps and wanting to do our summer at the cabin and all those things. And we're happy that we did that. We were happy to be home. And we would have struggled, I think, being in the lower 48 in the hot temperatures. Like, we hit everything at the perfect time for our family to really enjoy where we were at. So we do not have a big RV trip planned again. The kids are homeschooling again. As of now, if things change, don't hold me to that. We're talking it over with kids. We're getting things planned. So it was amazing. I would love to do similar things to this, but I don't know that it will ever look exactly like it did now.
I'm so glad we took the chance and went, because I'm not going to regret it, and I don't regret it, because I think that window of time is gone, and it was like kind of this unique time we had. And so, the boys, I think, would really resist right now. They really enjoyed where we were gone, but now they seem to have this renewed joy of seeing their friends and hanging out, and so.
And it was really perfect because they went to camp you'll see, I don't know if those videos have come out yet, but they went to camp and it was like, all their friends were like, oh good, you're here. And so since then it was like they didn't miss anything, because it was like right when we got home, it was a good announcement like, hey, we're home. And they've been busy doing things with friends ever since, biking, fishing, playing. So jumping on the trampoline. They like to invite people over to do that.
All right, the next category is insurance. Since we purchased these vehicles and we had such a big trip, I wanted to make sure I had full insurance on them in case anything happened, just so we'd be taken care of and, you know, it wouldn't be a financially ruining situation. So we budgeted $900. Insurance ended up being $2,600. And so what I did not anticipate was that the cost of insurance on that big truck was 3 times the cost of our van. Much, much more expensive to insure a big giant diesel truck that's towing a fifth wheel trailer. Did not realize that. It was a lot higher, and it was what it was. All right, next category is materials and supplies. That's just kind of odds and ends that we were gonna need. And I had $2,800, and we spent $2,500. So yay, a little bit less than I expected on that one.
How is that different than RV supplies?
I don't remember. I'd have to go look.
Okay.
I'd have to go look and see what it was in. It all made sense when I made this.
So that's like $7,000 worth of materials and supplies. It did cost a lot to keep things going.
Well, I think materials and supplies is like stuff we were using and consuming. The RV supplies was more of like outfitting, because we had to get mattresses. That was getting the mattresses, the beds, the brooms, the the Instapot.
So more like consumable supplies.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. Fast food. You know, we're not perfect. Sometimes we have fast food. It's not our normal go-to meal, and so I knew that we were going to eat some of that along the way just for convenience.
Travel days.
Yeah, I budgeted $1,000. We ended up spending $1,700. But we enjoyed trying the cuisine and unique meals at different places, and so that's that.
I didn't feel like we ate out that much, but it adds up. Fast food is not cheap.
For a family of 7 over 4 months, I think that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Because we really did not eat out that much. Next one is hotels. So I knew I was going to need some hotels to house Grandpa and I as we drove south, and that was our only time we were planning on having hotels. So I budgeted $600, ended up being $1,300, and we got stuck for a week in Ohio in a snowstorm. Didn't expect that. We were safe, we were fine. I was able to do a lot of work while we were sitting in the hotel. So another one of those things.
Yeah.
Internet. I had budgeted $850 for internet, so that's our Starlink. You may have wondered, how did they put out videos and how did they do homeschool on the road? Well, we had a Starlink, and there's a monthly subscription for that. We ended up spending a little over $1,000 on that. There was just a few extra costs that I didn't expect. Starlink increased their prices, and we had an extra month. I started it earlier than I had anticipated. So
really, I was really pleasantly surprised with how consistent we were able to be, because the Starlink works so well. The thing about Starlink is one of those things where you're like, we had no experience with it before we left, because we're like, we don't want to start paying for it when we have internet at home that we already pay for. And I feel like the same thing is true with the RV. Like, I rented a motorhome twice and just kind of saw how I liked it. We calculated, because we were on this trip for about 115 days, it would have taken us about 5.5 years to get the same type of experience if we were just like weekend warriors or just took it out like a month every summer. It would have taken us around 5.5 years to get so many days in the RV. We learned the ins and outs very quickly. Would I say we're experts? By no means, but we learned so much. And we just got to know our RV quickly because we just had to. And so if we had just bought an RV and gone here and there, I don't think that we ever would have felt as comfortable as we did doing it. You did such an amazing job because you just had to learn it so quickly.
Yeah. Yep.
And yeah, Mark did amazing.
It was a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
Yeah, you were like sweaty at the end of the day because you were like, you were having to pull that, not that you yourself was pulling the RV, but like, you
it's a lot of work.
Hitching up, doing all that stuff, driving that truck. It's just like you had to be on so much. So Mark gets the big kudos there because I did have a car full of kids to like, and sometimes that made me feel like a little frazzled, but Yeah, we do audiobooks. We don't have any sort of DVD players or anything. The kids every once in a while would watch a show, but not very often. And audiobooks, podcasts, lots of talking, and that's what works for us.
Yep.
And it was good. Travel days were very exhausting, but I enjoyed travel days for the fact that we just like got to sit and talk with our teenagers and connect with them, and a few books, Do Hard Things, and what was that one? Oh, How to Win Friends and Influence People. I listened to both those with Hunter, and they just had such good conversations after it. And Hunter even said, Mom, listening to those books has already helped me be a better friend, a better son since we got home. And I'm like, yes, that's so great. So
Bennett and I listened to The Emerald Mile, which is about a renegade group of river guides that ran down the Grand Canyon for the speed run back in the 80s. And we had fun listening to that. It was like a 20-hour book.
Yeah, they were slogging through it at first. Like, this wasn't what I expected. The one that Mark and Bennett listened to, and then I listened to, Theo of Golden, another amazing audiobook.
Yeah.
Just really heartwarming, touching. So there's a few suggestions of audiobooks.
Yeah.
Really
I listened
good.
to some other classics too with the kids. Listened to Old Man and the Sea when we were going through the Keys with Everett, and he really got into that with Ernest Hemingway's depiction of all that Caribbean life and the Cuban. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah. So we just tried to kind of pick some stuff that either went with their homeschool or just that we wanted to learn about, and had some good discussions and things like that. Yeah. So that's how we survived travel days.
All right, last three categories. First was restaurants, kind of like fast food, but this is more like sit-down type stuff. I budgeted $1,000. We ended up only spending $550 on that. So
when did we even go to a restaurant?
Not too many. Yeah, I think we went to like a Texas Roadhouse. We went to some, I don't know.
Oh, it was more you and Grandpa.
Alpaca. This is that Peruvian chicken place. So yeah, see, I mean, but $550, that doesn't get you very much for a family of seven.
There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 eating out at restaurants. 3 of those were Grandpa and Mark.
Yeah, those were me and Grandpa. So we didn't. We cooked almost all of our meals except for fast food, which was really the best.
Yeah.
So
I just honestly, other than like going to Texas Roadhouse, but we had some gift cards for that, so I didn't even remember eating out, but we did eat out with my sister, and that was that one was quite expensive, but it was really good and something different and cool. Peruvian restaurant. Yep.
All right, last 2 things I had not budgeted for, but they were categories we spent money on, and I didn't expect. Well, I should have maybe, but was souvenirs. We spent $450 on souvenirs. A lot of that's those stickers for our sticker board and kind of other things. And then the final was $300 in tolls and parking. That's something that we're not really used to up here in Alaska. I'd never been on a toll road before this trip.
And we did buy things like a sun pass when we were in Florida. That helped a little bit to...
Yeah, probably it halved the cost of the tolls. It was a radio frequency little box that you'd stick up in your windshield, and when you drove through the tolls, it would send out a message and charge your credit card automatically.
Shout out to Amy and Ilya for making sure we got that. And they were some of our viewers that lived down there in Florida. They're also the ones that gifted us the stay at their cabin in Georgia, which was like a highlight of the trip for us to get to stay there in Georgia. Because we don't even know if we would have gone to that area if we hadn't in Blue Ridge. And it was just amazing and beautiful. And we had so much fun at the cabin and doing the wood fire pizzas. It was just...
Oh, it was so pretty. The boys and I loved going fishing and seeing that area. We probably wouldn't have seen it.
It was just a nice little break. That whole area there, I would love to go back and visit again, because that whole canyon before and after Blue Ridge, river rafting, fishing, hiking, like we didn't even scratch the surface. But there, honestly, I could say that about almost every state that we went to. I feel like we scratched the surface of Utah and northern Arizona and things like that. But like we said earlier, like we love the Oregon coast and the California coast and the redwoods and things like that, but it just didn't work out to go that far.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's awesome spots in Minnesota and Iowa and Michigan, and especially the Northeast. We just didn't have enough time. And then also, we were really concerned about the winter.
Weather.
We did not want to drive that RV in the ice and the snow, and we were doing this in January, February, March, and there was no way we wanted to get up into that kind of weather, and pipes could freeze, we could slide off the road, it's dangerous, and so that's also why we didn't head up to the Northeast.
And even with doing the way we did it, coming up through Canada in May is still like variable. We got good weather, but there was snow in the forecast several times that we were like, ooh, we gotta just keep going. Lakes were still frozen over. And we were just trying to be safe for our family and not get ourselves into situations where we would feel like we were gonna cause harm to our family and to the RV.
All right, so the overall that we spent on the trip was $63,000. This is about $21,000 more than I had budgeted, but we did underspend on the truck, and some other categories.
What was the cost per mile per gas?
So the cost per mile per gas was 36 cents. This is American dollars, 36 cents per mile. The total cost per mile of a whole trip was $2.19 for the variable cost, and if you include the purchase of the vehicles and all that, it was $5.58 per mile. So
that's an interesting way to look at it.
Yeah, but I don't know if you want to look at that other one, because really we still have these awesome trailer and the truck, and we could sell them almost anytime we want. So I've been looking on Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist, and for what we paid down there and the condition they're in, we could easily turn around and get our money back 100%.
Things just cost so much to get them to Alaska.
Yeah.
It's actually an industry that people will go down, find good deals in the lower 48 and drive them up and just sell them. They don't even use them. They just buy them, bring them up, sell them.
So right in the middle of the Yukon, Grandpa and I passed a group of 5 Class A motorhomes. Those are those flat-fronted, big diesel 40-foot trailers, and each of them were towing another 20-foot trailer behind them. So there's 5 of these all coming up together, and I'm sure that they were coming up to get those ready to sell in the spring. I have a friend that he and his brother have multiple times gone down to Arizona. They have a system where they buy a kind of a lower cost RV, they drive it up, they turn around, sell it, and they can make $5,000 to $10,000.
The ones that we were looking at here when we were just kind of starting, dabbling, looking, they get barged up, right?
Yeah, most of the ones you buy new here, they barge them up.
So that
and
they don't have all the miles on them.
They make a big deal of telling you that this was never driven on the Alaska highway. It's a brand new trailer with 100 miles or less.
Yeah. So a lot of money if this was just like a vacation, but this is our life. This is our business. We got to make these amazing memories. We got to make videos of it. We'll have those forever, which I think is awesome that we can go back and watch those. Come here, Violet. Can you come talk to our friends for a second?
Dad and I are sleeping, Dad.
Okay, Weston, we need you to just give us a few minutes, okay? Hi. You ready for bed? No. Okay.
Violet, did you like going on our RV road trip?
Yeah.
Yeah, what did you like about it? Did you like that you got your pink bike? Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you like Dad reading books to you every night in bed?
Yeah.
Huh?
Did you like being with your brothers every day?
Yeah.
Violet has done really well since we got home. We've had some big transitions. She's doing amazing, but she does have a little bit of a problem when we are not all together now. When her brothers went off to camp, when Mark goes off and does his own thing for the day, she gets a little bit worried because she was so used to having us all together, and she just loves being with everybody. But there's no real problem with that. It's just been... We've just noticed that. She loved being with all of us, and she loved coming home. Toys, she loves her toys, and she spreads them from one end of the house to the other, and it's great. She's such a good imagination, and...
As soon as we came home, Violet disappeared into the front room here, and for hours would play with her toy kitchen, making Dad meals, making food for her brothers.
Yep.
Yummy.
She's just been playing. But she's still up for family adventures, like... wants to go camping, wants to go back in the RV.
Yeah.
She's just happy to be with the family. So she transitioned well to life in the RV, and she's transitioned fine back home.
Hey, what do you have there?
A toy.
You gonna play with your toy? You gonna feed the monster?
It was food.
You can give him some food?
Yeah.
Oh, is he hungry?
Yeah.
Does he want an apple? Does he want a tomato?
Yes.
Okay, Hunter, people wondered what some highlights were of the trip for you.
So overall, I really liked just seeing the country. It was cool being able to see these places I'd normally never ever get to see. And I also really love mountain biking, and that kind of goes along with these other places. It's cool to be able to get out there and get away from people sometimes, especially in some of those places where there's a lot of people. Like, I remember going in Arizona, they had a bike trail, and you see this huge city of Phoenix, and you go around this mountain and there's no one.
Yeah.
It's really cool, and it was fun too. And I really like fishing in a bunch of spots in Georgia and Florida and Utah and so many places.
Yep. I think we could have done more fishing and that would have been just fine with Hunter.
Yep. And then I actually really liked a lot of the audiobooks we listened to. I enjoyed them, and a lot of them were like teaching lessons, and I learned a lot as well that I would not have expected to learn so much just driving.
Yeah, that was some of those long drive days, just like that concentrated time to just like listen. You don't necessarily get that when you're at home and you got so much to do. So Hunter ended up doing quite a bit of driving on the trip, and people wanted to know how he felt about driving.
At first it was very daunting because the roads are way faster. They're not
Unfamiliar.
Yeah, they're very unfamiliar. Some of them are quite a bit faster. There's a lot more people up here in Alaska usually, unless it's some rush hour. There's usually not too many people on the road.
Way more lanes.
Yeah,
and he didn't do a ton of that kind of driving, but
well, I did some.
He did some, and that was challenging for him, but
Yeah.
he did amazing. Hunter is an amazing driver, and in Alaska you get your license at 16. Well, you can get, but your permit at 14, so they give him 2 years to really build up your driving skills through the winter and things like that. And he also took driver's education through homeschool, which was amazing. So he got his license just before the trip, and so this was definitely a new experience for him driving, but he did awesome.
Probably did a lot more driving than most 16-year-olds do.
Yeah. What about those roads across Texas and stuff?
It felt weird going like 85 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Like you're supposed to go that fast.
Yeah, like we were getting past and we were going the speed limit.
It's like,
Hunter had a few instances where he was doing the exact right thing and other people made really scary decisions, and he reacted really well and did amazing. So very, very grateful that we were safe and had very few problems when driving. Was there anything about the trip that was difficult?
it was hard not socializing with other teenagers because we were doing things during the school year, so there was no kids at parks, at RV resorts.
Yeah, we saw very few teenagers.
Yeah, it was like either little kids or people who had just graduated and were going on their like
Gap year type
yeah.
thing.
So I don't know. That was hard for me, but then also the schooling was a little bit tricky, just because we were doing so much and didn't have quite as much time as you would at home.
Yeah, with travel days and things, you definitely had to budget your time wisely. And they did great. They finished all their classes before we got home, or as we got home within that week. They finished everything and got everything submitted. So they stayed on track, but that was a little bit tricky. So are you glad that we went on this adventure?
Yeah, I am. I almost wish we would have spent a little bit more time.
I think Mark and I were going to get to this, but then our kids needed us. Violet needs to go to bed and things. And, but I think our only regret is maybe we should have started like a month or two earlier. Like we didn't want to go any longer, but maybe had started in January, but it really...
The thing is, just like, I don't know. I love winter so much.
I know it's hard. And that is the reason why we don't have anything planned, because people think, oh, it's Alaska, you want to like escape Alaska in the winter. But these kids, like Hunter was doing amazing with his cross-country skiing, and so now he'll be a junior and a senior the next 2 years. He wants to be here to participate in that through the winter. They love snowboarding, cross-country skiing, So we do like to travel some in the winter, but
Mostly it's in the state to go do those things.
that was a bit of a sacrifice for these boys to miss out on that good weather,
It was
that
hard.
good winter weather.
Hard looking at posts and results from races and seeing the snow reports and being like, well, it's 100 degrees here. What am I supposed to do?
But that being said, you just said we wish it would have
And
been
then
a little bit longer.
And then I went out and did a cool mountain bike ride. I'm like,
yeah.
that was better than
Yeah.
suffering in -20.
So it balanced out. I think we would have happily gone another month if it had worked out that way. But really,
There's no better way to do it. I don't know.
it was good. We had this like perfect pocket of time.
I agree.
Before the kids are like so into their sports and so into different things. Like that's what we thought in our minds, and I think we were right. Like
Yep.
Hunter has the freedom now. Since we got home, he is now fully on his license. You have a provisional for 6 months, so now he can drive his brothers around and some friends around and things like that. And I have to say that has opened up a whole new world for us. Like the fact that he can take his brothers and go mountain biking and just, we don't have to drop them off and then come back and pick them up. Like that's really, really cool, and he's been doing a great job. Like planning activities and taking brothers along and just making sure they have fun things to do this summer. So I've seen many comments saying like the kids all seem to have had a lot of growth, and I agree. I feel like our kids, they took in the experiences from this trip, just meeting new people, seeing different cultures, seeing different places. They appreciated what they were seeing, and they grew, and they came home happy and appreciative of what we have and what we experienced. I truly feel that.
Yep. I can say with a surety, I will never live anywhere else.
Hunter loves Alaska. He'll go off and do some different
I'll do
things.
trips, I'll
He'll
go
do
to
trips.
college,
He'll
I'll
go
do- yeah.
school and
Lots of things to do, but I'm not staying anywhere else.
yeah.
Never having a home anywhere else. I'll say that.
You just want to come home to Alaska.
Yep.
I'm okay
Thing is,
with
there's
that.
no off season.
I'm okay with that.
I have a sport for every single season. I'm never not have anything to do. So
Since we've gotten home, you may have seen we went and bought Hunter his roller skis, which is how he can train. It's like you wear your skiing boots and then you roller ski. Maybe I need to get a video of you doing that because he is out there doing.
a couple 100 miles this summer.
He's already done a couple 100 miles on his skis, which is incredible.
Did
And
19 last night, and
between that and he's starting to trail run to get ready for the school year ahead, like he and Bennett have been very active. And you guys were active on the trip, but we were not active
really.
consistently. Like we were
it was
active.
like you were in a city, so I didn't do anything. And the next week we're in the forest, so I would go biking or something. And then
When
the
we-
next week
yeah.
we're in another city.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that was my one regret, was that I didn't find a consistent way to exercise while we were on the trip. And so that has been a goal of mine, and I've done really well since we got home. But I think we all kind of felt that. So once we got home, like he's done over 100 miles of skiing. Bennett did over 100 miles of running that first month when we got back.
I think I've done 60 miles this week.
60 miles this week. He can go really far on those skis. So that was one thing. Just not having the consistency in exercise was a little bit tough on all of us. But really, there were not many other
Yep.
negatives for us. I do have to say that all the boys did really well being in that one space. Some of them are more organized and clean than the others, and so I know that they appreciate having their rooms since we got home, but they really did really well. And having space to get outside really helped with that. If you were feeling pent up, you just got outside. But the boys did amazing, and they had that really cool bunk room, so that was helpful. But
I'd say overall we actually got really good weather. I think there's
oh,
one
wow,
time
yeah.
where I can remember it was bad weather and I was asleep.
Was there anywhere that like surprised you how much you did like it or anything like that?
Where was it? I think it was Alabama.
You had a lot of fun in Alabama.
I
on
did
those
not
mountain
expect
biking
that.
trips.
I went off mountain biking on my own for a couple hours each day, and it was just like, I'm free.
Yeah.
I'm not stuck in a RV. I don't know. Well, that was probably that was like within the first couple weeks that we were out of like big city Florida. So it was
Yeah.
nice being back in the woods.
Yeah, you actually had an opportunity to go bike.
Like there was trees and lakes and
some
rivers.
elevation and things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Alabama kind of surprised us all. I think we needed kind of like a regroup couple days there.
Then once again, that is where you had the worst storm.
I know. It was like the perfect weather, and then we just knew this storm was coming, but it was
Got
like
snow.
the calm before the storm and then the snow. Yeah.
Yeah. That was weird.
Okay. Thank you, Hunter, for sharing.
All right. Good trip.
I will say it was a little bit tricky coming home and getting back into everyday life. There was a little bit of a like, so many things on our to-do list and stuff when we got home, but also just like a little bit of mourning that the trip was over for me as a mom. Like, it was such a magical, wonderful experience that it was a little bit sad to come off of that, even though we had exciting things here at home, like the garden and the trampoline and trips and things like that planned that you'll see pan out over the summer. But it was a little bit sad to be closing the door on that. Even though we have trips planned, it's not as seamless as just living in the RV. That was really surprising to me, was just how much I enjoyed our home coming with us, being able to go visit family and not needing to get a hotel and a rental car and all that stuff. Just being there, we had our vehicle, we had our home, and we just got to enjoy being with family and then go home and sleep in our own space. I can honestly say that I'm still just like a little bit sad that it's over, but more so just grateful that it happened. All right, we had to turn on some lights because we're losing daylight here. All right, Everett, what was your favorite spot on the trip?
Cathedral Caverns.
In Alabama.
All right, my favorite part was there's this little stream that you could catch crawfish. And another a couple places that I really liked was the state parks in Arizona and Utah, like Arches and like Canyonlands and Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
And I also like to see like how, like what all the like different stores looked like, and try some new food that isn't in Alaska.
Our foodie liked the food. Was there anything that was hard about the trip for you?
The heat was kind of hard in some of the places.
Yeah. What were some things that you enjoyed doing other than the national parks? What were some highlights?
I think some places in Canada.
Yeah, you liked Canada. It was beautiful.
Seeing the different foods in Costco.
Costco, Canada was fun. How was it doing homeschool on the road?
Pretty good. Not kind of hard, but
What was hard about it?
just staying. Like you're compact so like you have to have stuff that could distract you really close to you.
Okay.
That was kind of hard.
One major win for Everett on this trip for homeschool was he fell in love with, do you know what I'm going to say?
Social studies?
Well, you did enjoy social studies, but
Books.
He really started to enjoy reading books way more than he's ever enjoyed it, and has continued that since we've been home, has been reading every night. And so that was a huge win. He was writing all sorts of stories and things like that. On your free time, you were like in the car and stuff, you were making some comics and reading, kind of writing stories. And
I was writing one big story.
One big story, okay. So,
Stranded.
did you like all the family time?
Mm-hmm.
Do you like swimming and biking?
That was fun, the biking in some places.
Yeah,
The Grand Canyon bike was really fun.
that was fun.
And also just some of the mountain bike. And seeing family was fun too.
Yeah, you really enjoyed seeing family. Well, would you do it again? Would you like to go on another RV trip? We'll see.
I think I would like doing an RV trip I want to see England. That place.
New England or England?
No, like France. And,
Oh, like go do a Europe trip.
yeah.
Yeah, we have discussed doing
Then-
that. Yeah,
yeah.
going over to Europe and doing a
wanna
bigger
see Europe.
trip. Yeah,
I want to see the big fountain.
big fountain, the Trevi Fountain. Yeah. Well, maybe that's our next adventure. Maybe Everett's going to plan it for us. He's going to tell us all the places he wants to go see in Europe.
I want to see the
Eiffel Tower.
the fountain.
That's in Italy. Big Ben. Do you know what Big Ben is?
Yeah.
It's that big clock in England.
Kinda.
London. I've never been to London.
I want to learn how to make. I want to see someone. I want to eat some fresh pasta.
Oh yeah, in Italy. That would be great. Okay. I enjoyed being on the trip with you.
Mhm. Bye, Mom.
Bye.
Luna, how did you like being at the cousin's house? How did you enjoy the cousin's house?
Okay, Luna's been sitting here napping right across from us this whole time. So Luna was very well taken care of by the cousins. She had such a great time there. The cousins were very sad to have to say goodbye to her. Several cousins that helped do the majority of taking care of her, and she just really enjoyed being with them too, and would sleep on their bed and spent lots of time with them. And so she was really well taken care of. And she ignored us a little bit when we got home that first hour or so. It was like, I'm not sure. Are you guys going to stick around? And by that night, she was, laying right on my chest, cuddling with me in bed. So she warmed up to us pretty quick and has been good. She's happy we're home. We're happy to be back with her. Yeah. 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 Will you ask Weston or Bennett to come up, please? All right, we got Westy, my bestie.
I guess.
So Weston, people want to know what was something you enjoyed about the trip, or a favorite place that we went on the trip.
My favorite place was probably Key West or the Cathedral Caverns.
Alabama, yeah. And I think that was Weston and Everett's favorite spot because there were kids there that they really connected with, and just being in the creek. Did you like the cave too?
Yeah.
Yeah, the cave was really cool. So that one was a surprise to us. We kind of planned that while we were in Georgia, let's go to this state park, and that was really enjoyable. We should probably put the camera down so they can see Luna sitting here with us. Oh, sorry. What were other favorite things for you?
Dad was always with us.
Dad being with us, yeah. Before we went on the trip, you were a little bit worried about things not working out. How did you feel while you were on the trip?
I felt like everything would work out in the end.
Yeah.
We would make it back to Alaska.
Did you feel happy and safe? Yeah. Would you like to go on another trip like that?
Maybe for 2 months or a month, maybe.
Maybe a shorter trip?
Yeah, maybe a shorter trip. Maybe going up the Alcan or up to the top of Alaska.
Oh, so a trip around Alaska?
Maybe,
Some more traveling here?
Go to the big sand dunes or go to Denali too. That.
Okay, so Westy would like to do more traveling in Alaska.
I haven't been up above Talkeetna. I haven't
There's
been
not
to
much
Take
above Tok. Well, yeah, you kind of go different ways, but yeah. So a little more exploring in Alaska would be your choice. That's good to know.
Maybe go to Europe or something.
Yeah, Europe would be fun. See new
Go
things.
on another cruise.
Go on another cruise. Weston loves the cruises. So that's definitely
I'd go on
an
an Alaskan
option.
cruise.
Yeah, that's true. You could see different parts of Alaska. Any other thoughts about the trip? Are you glad we went?
It was a good learning experience. And I felt like I learned a lot from working on the trailer and being with my family all the time.
Yeah, that was very special.
Now I know if I have a trailer, I know what to do.
Call Dad.
Hey,
He's the expert.
hey, my auto leveling isn't work. Don't use it.
All right. Are you happy to be home with Luna? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Are you having a good summer back at home now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I wish it wasn't raining this week.
I know.
Because it was like 1 week, that we're here. It was raining. I wanted to
We are currently having some very rainy weather. But we're happy to be home. You happy to be home?
Mm-hmm. Made new friends.
New friends. Doing things that you love, mountain biking and going to camps.
Oh, that's
2 fun camps. And so people have said that they feel like you have grown a lot on the
Yes,
trip.
I have.
And we haven't taken him to the doctor yet since we've been back for like his physical or anything,
I've
but
probably grown like 5 inches.
he's grown a lot. And I even feel like even just this month since we got home, I just feel like you've grown even.
like 3 inches.
And
it feels like.
he just matured over the trip too. You know, we had to spent a lot of time together and it was great. Okay, Bennett, what were some of the highlights of the trip for you?
I think some of the highlights were skimboarding in Florida, and then catching my first bass in South Carolina, and then getting to ride my new bike in Moab and all those amazing trails.
What were some things about living in the RV that were good or that surprised you?
Being all together as a family, because like once we got home, it was just like we're all gone away.
Yeah, it's harder to it was kind of nice to just be all there together.
And like going to church every week.
Was good?
Yeah.
How do you feel about being home?
I don't know. I wish I was traveling still, looking around places, but like it's good to be home and
It's kind of like,
hang out with friends.
yeah, it's hard because it was so
stuff that I
fun.
always like,
Yeah,
but good things at both.
yeah. You glad we went?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you hope that we'll do something else, even if it's not exactly that again, but you hope?
Hopefully.
Yeah, what would you maybe like to do?
Hit all 50 states.
Yeah?
Yeah.
We hit quite a few, but
Yeah. We need the top.
so Bennett is up for doing it again, but you gotta fit it in between all your sports, running and skiing.
We can miss skiing.
I guess you're not, Hunter's the skier.
I don't know. After this season, I might be.
Yeah, we'll see. Bennett's been doing running and prepping for the cross country season. Was that hard for you not being as consistent, being able to exercise? That was my one regret, was kind of not being able to find or not.
I don't know. I feel like I did a lot of that. I wasn't main exercising, but I was still exercising.
You found lots of ways to
But-
move.
I wish I ran more, but I didn't feel like getting mugged. Or
Just being
attacked.
unfamiliar with the spots, yeah.
Being lost.
That was a little bit tricky to go for long runs.
We did go on a run though. We found oranges the first trip.
I think that was like so
yeah.
hopeful. They went running when we first got to
First
Florida.
day.
First
Or
day.
second day.
Second day, yeah. But didn't do a whole lot more running after that. How did you feel about doing homeschooling on the road and in the RV?
I think it was great because I get to do my work at my little pace, and that like when I'm done, I'm done.
That's true.
It's like
You did really well at just like pacing yourself and so.
it's hard, but
How was it driving? You got to do some driving on the trip.
great.
Yeah. He wanted to do more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mom wouldn't let me.
Oh, I would.
I never
Just had
asked, though,
Yeah,
no.
you didn't really ask, but
It's not great circumstances most times.
he got to go like 75 miles an hour across
80.
Texas and New Mexico. That was kind of fun.
Yep.
Yeah. But he's getting to drive some
But I
now
didn't
that
know
we're
how to
home.
turn. I didn't know how to turn.
Yeah, he was really good on the straight road. A little bit tricky when he had to turn and slow down but he's getting better. What are you looking forward to here at home?
Running.
Just being with friends.
Yeah. Going camping. Catching fish.
You glad we went? Did I already ask that?
Great. I'm so glad.
Yeah, I'm glad we did it.
Needed a break from civilization.
Break from real life. We still had to live on the road, but it was fun.
Yeah.
It was more fun than it was trouble.
Oh, well, it was a lot of driving,
It was a lot of driving,
but
but Good
road
audiobooks.
trip.
What was your favorite audiobook? Oh, I forgot about Hail Mary. We did read Hail Mary.
I don't know. I would want to say The Hunger Games, but that was just like.
Oh, I don't know. That was entertaining, but I
I think if I finished How to Win Friends and Influence People, would have been that.
I think out of the ones that you listened to, that I listened to, Theo of Golden was my favorite. Did you like that one?
It's good.
Yeah.
Sad. I don't know. I was asleep half the time. I just like sleeping.
Bennett learned that he's really good at sleeping in the car on the road trip. Other children never really fell asleep in the car.
That's what
Like
everyone
Weston,
does every
but
day.
Bennett got good at car napping. Mark got Violet to sleep while I was talking with all the boys. If you stuck around to this point, final kind of thoughts and questions, future of the channel, future of Mark's employment. We have not caught our breath since getting home between keeping this channel running, doing different camps, activities, being parents, summer in Alaska.
Fixing stuff around the house and house projects with our property, all that stuff too.
We have just gone nonstop. And so there has not been a day that we just have felt like we totally could, but we have not relaxed at all since we've gotten home really. And so we just feel like life is busy, life is full. Putting out 7 videos a week for that month long in June was a lot. Part of me wishes we could keep that kind of pace up, but it was starting to take a toll on me because it was just so much work. I was grateful that I made that goal and accomplished it because it got us through the road trip videos, and so we can move on to time in Alaska, but it was a bit much. And I do have to keep my health and wellness in mind and the relationships and not overdo it. So 7 videos a week for the long term would have been too much. So
yeah, way too much.
The goal is back to 3 a week, and then you'll get a bonus video here and there when we have extra stuff.
Also, 7 days or videos 7 days a week would feel like too much of an invasion of our privacy, because there's things we film and things we don't film, and try and keep that balance. With our kids, and they keep it interesting for the channel. So.
Especially as they're getting older too. You know, you just don't want to include everything. We do like to give you guys little insights, but as their friends are around and things like that, the camera just needs to be off, and we just need to be parents. And you know, we have serious discussions with our kids, how they're feeling, because we know that it could change at any point. They're having discussions with their friends, and we're very open with our kids. We talk about YouTube, we talk about like
businesses,
how it works, businesses, expenses, investing. Like we are very much, they're very aware of things, but on a level that they can understand. We don't share all the stuff like with them. We have discussions as a family, but on an age appropriate level. Like we talk differently with Hunter and Bennett than we talk with Weston and Everett, because they each have different needs and different things that might affect them from the channel. And we are completely aware that that could change, and we need to address that. So we feel comfortable back home filming. That was a bit exhausting. And honestly, I had a little bit of a hard time picking up the camera once we got home for a little while, because I was doing so much on the editing side of things that I was so exhausted, and I felt like there wasn't much to share because I was spending so much time editing, if that makes sense. Like you have to have that balance of time to film and time to edit. And if you're filming every day, and it wouldn't be able to keep that balance. So we will continue to share cooking, shopping, and family adventures, and what it's like to live in Alaska.
So one of the questions that has come up is Mark going to go back to his job as Chief Financial Officer, or working at something similar type of accounting or Chief Financial Officer role here in Alaska? And the answer is, for now, no, I'm not. I'm working full-time with the business. There's actually quite a bit to do on the back end, and also helping with the video editing and all that type of stuff. A lot of stuff going on around the house. I also started filming videos again for my own YouTube channel that I have on a separate channel, and that's been really fun. and really enjoyed that. It seems to have pretty good success. We're going to see where that goes. And so for now, I'm just working here at home and being with Lauren and the kids, and I don't miss it. I don't miss going into the office. There's definitely things that are different. That whole balance about working at home and boundaries between work and personal, and I think I had in my mind that I was going to be able to go fishing and do a lot more other like flying and stuff more often, but there's a lot of work to do and a lot of stuff to do with all this.
Excited to see where it takes us. Like, we have so many options and so many experiences to share. Like, we'll go into this in other videos, and you've probably seen some of it, but like, I didn't grow up here. Mark loves Alaska, so I've always thought that he has so much more to share. And this channel, This Alaska Life, has always been from my perspective of what it's like to be a mom in Alaska. Shopping, cooking, running a household, being a hunting and fishing family. And so that's always what it's been. But now that he's home, he can offer some of his perspective more of what it's like. And because everything I know about Alaska, really, I've learned from Mark and his family. Like, I moved here when I was 14. My dad and I dabbled in fishing and stuff, but I've always said that marrying Mark was like getting my master's degree, like the flying, the hunting, the fishing, and taking care of the things that you catch, and like cooking with those kind of things. That is was very foreign to me, but is now like part of who we are and what makes us who we are. So I'm grateful. The trip, I think, just brought us together even more.
I think it did.
And it was healing. You know, you guys know why these kind of things came up for us. Losing our daughter Maggie was so hard, and just being with our family for those 4 months was healing, because that's what's important. And there's important things here at home too. But it just kind of let us just savor that family time before our kids get older and are off on their own adventures and things like that. We just got this special experience. And in the end, I'm just really grateful.
I think it's probably one of the best investments we've ever made, I think. You know, we've done things here and there, but as far as like for our family, I think it's probably the best investment we've made. Well, yeah.
And there were things we were so nervous about, big changes.
Yeah.
And if we could just go back and tell ourselves, like we had a good foundation. We didn't just do this on a whim. And I know some people think that we just like did it on a whim, but it wasn't. Like, it kind of came together fast once we like put the wheels in motion, but like, we just felt so much support from our Father in heaven, like along the whole journey. People, things, just it just felt like the right thing, and I'm so glad that we did it.
Me too. And I feel like we were really watched over.
Yeah.
We had a couple really kind of near misses on the highway and other stuff. Mostly it was other people being really dangerous. And I don't know if I shared this before, but when we got home, everyone piled out of the motorhome or the truck and ran to the house, and I just sat in the truck for a couple minutes in the driveway, just quiet, and I just said a really sincere prayer to our Heavenly Father. I said, thank you so much that we made it home safe.
Yeah. Love you. So thank you for watching the videos. Thank you for cheering us along. Those of you that were there with us. I know there were so many that I've seen comments like, we miss the daily videos. We miss being on our trip because this wasn't just about us. This was about our viewers getting to come on this adventure with us. And I know it wasn't for everyone, and that's okay. But it was for so many. I know it meant a lot to you guys, and I'm so grateful for that, because it made it so fun to just bring you all along. And it made it about so much more than just ourselves.
we had so many comments and letters from you who were stuck at home because you couldn't travel because of old age or illness. And I'm just so glad that you guys could find joy as we did in this trip. And I'm just so glad that you guys could see some of these beautiful things that we could see and bring you along with it.
There's a lot more to explore. There's a lot more family life. We love you guys. We'll see you again real soon for more of This Alaska Life. Sorry, that kind of got really long, but...
And emotional.
Yeah. We love you guys.
Bye.
Bye.